minutes of waiting, and the game is about to start. My god. Is this real life? Or is this fantasy? I just don't know. But I can confirm this is real life, guys, and welcome to the Empire Collective Cup. This is the Platinum League, and we are here with 8th Wonder versus MbL. I almost said the Viper versus Tato then. Oh god. And so yeah, I'm going to be joined by Rez once again, and I'll let you say hello and all of that stuff.
Thank you, Zach. As always, guys, it is an honor to be here co-casting today for round 4 between MbL and 8th Wonder. At the top side of the map, we do have MbL playing as the Blue Mongols, and on the bottom side, we have 8th Wonder playing as the Red Celts.
Yeah, and the map is a Hideout for game number 1. Now, I'm really looking forward to this set of games because really I want to see how well 8th Wonder does here. 8th Wonder has been doing some fantastic performances, or making some fantastic performances so far this event. He's been hyped up a lot by many people supporting 8th Wonder so far. And also MbL doing some, or having some really nice games, playing some very solid games, notably winning against VNS Yellow as well. And some people said when the leagues were published that, hey, MbL, he shouldn't be in the Platinum League. But I think he's already proven that he deserves his spot here, taking down the 4th seed in a convincing 3-1 victory when he played against Yellow in round 1. So this should be a nice game. And also, just real quick, thank you very much, Porn Scrusher, for subscribing as well. Goodness me, we got a little bit of a sub-train going on right now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that we do. Your support, guys, is always very much appreciated. And MbL, securing several very, very flashy victories throughout this entire tournament so far, and he's already starting off this series on a very good note with a boar steal. Gonna go snag one of 8th Wonder's boars with his scout, and since he has that Mongols hunting bonus, this is a great way to snowball the game in his favor.
Oh, I definitely think so, and I think it's really important that he has actually done this, because, typically speaking, Mongols versus the Celts on this map, it certainly favors the Celts, and we've seen, well, I don't know if you've seen some of the games on this map with the Mongol and Celt matchup specifically, but I certainly noticed that there was a really very high chance of the Celts winning when this kind of matchup came up on this map. So I think 8th Wonder has the Civ advantage in this situation, but with MbL stealing away that boar and going to be able to take advantage of the hunt bonus, he is going to be in a fantastic position here as he takes all 3 boar at the same time.
Yeah, by taking all 3 of the boars at the same time, when 8th Wonder tries to sweep around with his scout and go grab a boar and steal one for himself, he can't do that. They're all underneath the town center, currently being harvested from, and MbL off to a very solid start, but 8th Wonder, a great player too, like you mentioned. The Civ matchup will be slightly in his favor, and we'll see how he tries to recover from this early game deficit.
Yeah, definitely, and this is the thing, like, it's not as efficient as it could be for MbL here. Obviously, he's taking all 3 at the same time, which is less than ideal, but at the same time, like you say, it's better for him to take all 3 and have a less efficient gathering than take 2 and then risk 8th Wonder being able to counter-steal right back. Big thank you as well to... Oh, I've lost you. Where are you? Oh no. Oh, did he see us for subscribing also? Welcome to the Wallow Warlords to you. Much appreciated.
And
yeah,
in the meantime...
Sorry, go on.
Oh, okay. No problem. It looks like 8th Wonder snagged 2 sheep by sending his scout forward looking for a boar, so... the little victories that count, certainly not equivalent to a boar steal, but the extra 2 sheep do help a little bit. And MbL on his way up to the feudal age extremely early, as the Mongols do like to do. Looks like we're going to see some characteristic early game Mongol aggression, perhaps some scouts. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think scouts, and I tell you what, MbL has got an absolutely disgustingly good map. Look at that wall off. Like, that should... The walling should not be this easy, and if you take a, contrast that and compare that to what 8th Wonder's map looks like, He has no possible way to wall up quite as easily as MbL does right here. And with MbL taking that third boar, and of course having a huge food boost because of that, he should be in a great situation as he hits the feudal age. He will hit the feudal age slightly faster, and he'll probably go into scouts. Currently, obviously saving up a bunch of wood so that he can go ahead and build that building. And do you see this? I wondered where he was putting that stable down. It's actually right at the bottom of the map. MbL with a sneak villager going all the way around to the south.
Yeah, I was really wondering what that forward villager was up to on the right-hand side of the map, because MbL's map is so very easy to wall. That's why we can see him positioning them that way. That he didn't need to build like a really like far wall in the corner, and that's a forward stable, and that's going to be absolutely fantastic. Is one of the difficult things to play around on the map Hideout is that you're so very far away from your opponent, even though you look close. You have to walk all the way around this forest, and the scouts are all about speed, getting to your opponent before they have really time to react, wall up, build enough spears, and these scouts are going to get there awfully quick. We'll have to see how 8th Wonder responds.
Yeah, and also, amongst all of that, the 2 sheep that 8th Wonder stole, well, MbL's going to steal them right back again. He's running his scout into them by pure fluke and chance. He's obviously going to be able to nab them away and take them up to his side of the map, potentially. Right now, MbL looking like he's going to be doing a very, very aggressive style here, building a watchtower on the main gold of 8th Wonder, and with 8th Wonder transitioning into archers here by the looks of things, that would mean that without gold income, he'll be forced to make skirmishers, which are typically very, very weak against the scouts that MbL is producing right now. So MbL looking like he's going to get aggressive fairly soon, and like you say, we're going to have to wait and see if those spears will be a big enough defense. Right now, 8th Wonder defending as best he can with some walls made out of buildings. No walls actually placed down, but a wall certainly exists on the right and left side of his base.
And the real question is, will that be enough, as 8th Wonder does not see that watchtower going up. It's not within his line of sight. The pressure is on. Those gold miners not gonna last, and like you just mentioned, that's gonna be really, really tough to continue making archers that reliable gold income. All of 8th Wonder's gold mines are in a triangle shape, all at the front of his base. He doesn't have any safe gold, and 8th Wonder denied. Can't get into MbL's base either. The pressure is on.
Denied. And also losing 2 villagers. A fantastic play from MbL. Not only did he build the tower, but he also positioned his scouts so that when those poor villagers had to run away from impending doom on the hill, they ran straight into the swords of the scout cavalry and ended up getting picked off. 2 villagers down for 8th Wonder now, which leaves him a total of 2 villagers behind overall. And of course, that eco advantage that MbL is now going to have will certainly give him an advantage as this game goes on.
Yeah, it looks like MbL definitely pulling a little bit ahead here. He's ahead by 1 villager. 8th Wonder certainly has a military lead of about 10 units compared to 4, but right now, he's in a very precarious situation. With this gold so vulnerable and at the front of his base, he's going to have to defend it with his life, and that's why he's keeping his military units positioned defensively here. He has to hold this gold if he wants to survive.
Oh, definitely, and of course he's making a lot of spears in order to be able to do that now. The interesting thing here is that MbL is making a lot of scouts. He's made 3 so far, but he's still got another 2 inside of the stable with 2 more queued up. And back at home, quite a lot of food income from all of these farms. He's also taking some stone, which seems like he's going to be tempted to build another tower at some point. And from the archery range on the left side, he'll also make some archers. Sorry, not archers, skirmishers. But I'm actually questioning whether or not this scout cavalry, or these scout cavalry, are going to be that effective for MbL here. Currently, he has no bloodlines, no upgrades at all on these units, yet he is still making more and more scouts at this stable, and they are not cheap on the food.
Yeah, while the Scout Cavalry Rush is a very, very strong strategy, it does carry many weaknesses with it. One of them being it's so very taxing on your food economy. 8th Wonder is stockpiling so much food and gold, he'll probably be able to get to the Castle Age first, and this is because the archers don't cost food themselves. Also, the scouts run into this issue where they're very much hard countered by spearmen, and Eighth Wonder, by patrolling a couple of spearmen in his own base, he's defending against this quite nicely. The MbL actually is not mined any gold yet, so looks like Eighth Wonder is setting himself up for the Castle Age first.
Oh yeah, I mean with Wheelbarrow coming in just a moment ago, and 8th Wonder now leaving his town center idle, he will be up to the Castle Age in just a second. 8 food to go, and he's now going to click up. And that's actually really awesome for him, because 8th Wonder in this position is actually not too bad at all. Sure, he did lose a couple of villagers, and other than that, he's not really felt too much pressure on his economy. It's just these horrendous gold spots that are causing him the trouble. Right now, the engagement coming in, and MbL looking very strong, cleaning up the spearmen with his skirms, and now using his scouts, of course, to maybe find some more archers or villagers if they stray too far from this watchtower on the left-hand side.
Yeah, 8th Wonder's really running into the problem right now where his archers are just so easily dealt with by these skirmishers and these scouts. While 8th Wonder is on his way up to the Castle Age, he's sacrificing a lot of military pressure right now in exchange for that. These skirms and scouts gonna go clean that up, and MbL starting to go mine some gold of his own. He's really thinking about getting to the Castle Age, and with 750 food in the bank and 60 gold, he's getting there.
Yeah, he's closing that gap, and it doesn't seem like he'll make any more scout cavalry at this point. The question is, when 8th Wonder gets to the Castle Age, will he be able to turn this around and clean this up quickly? Because if he doesn't do it quickly, then 8th Wonder might be in a position where MbL will be able to get Castle as well, and will be able to catch right back up again in terms of tech. Now, I imagine 8th Wonder will be tempted by a siege workshop when he goes up to the the Castle Age, but look at this, on the woodline, an element of hideout that you don't see that often, but, or at this stage of the game anyway. 2 watchtowers from MbL, forcing 8th Wonder away from his lumber line.
Oh, this is really cool, and it's something that we really only see on maps similar to Hideout, since both players' bases are so close to each other. Those watchtowers are going to prove to be a massive nuisance, as right now, map control firmly in favor of MbL. The wood line is just sort of limited from 8th Wonder, so he's going to have to shift his villagers around out of range of those watchtowers, and when Bodkin Arrow comes out in the Castle Age, that's going to be even more annoying. And 8th Wonder, building that siege workshop like you just mentioned, a defensive mangonel is going to come out now, and it's time to start cleaning out these towers.
Yeah, definitely, and I think he's going to be able to possibly take 1 tower down. At this point, obviously, the Mangonel is great for dealing with these skirms as well, and with 8th Wonder now having Bodkin Arrow and Crossbow as well, those Scout Cavalry shouldn't be too difficult for him to deal with. MbL, though, sneaking by like a slippery fish going through into the back of 8th Wonder's economy. He'll find a couple of villagers back here as these scouts do quite a bit of damage, slipping by, and obviously 8th Wonder didn't even notice, not garrisoning his villagers in that TC until a little bit too late.
Yeah, and with +1 defense, those scouts are going to be even better at tanking those town center shots. In the meantime, though, 8th Wonder directing his focus towards the bottom side of his base, denying a stable at 99%.
Wow.
That stable did not go up, and we can tell that MbL was at least heavily considering knights by getting the Bloodlines technology, the +1 defense upgrade. He's going to get denied here with those knights. He only has 1 forward stable, and MbL going to go snag the Bodkin Arrow upgrade in the meantime.
I think 8th Wonder actually in a very good position right now. Obviously, you know, he's not had the best start to this game. MbL's aggression was really awesome, but it's just not really been enough. He's not done enough eco damage. Right now, MbL only has 1 more villager than 8th Wonder, and it looks like 8th Wonder will have his second town center up first as well. Not to mention the fact that, yeah, this Mangonel here is going to have a blast. It's going to be taking down 2 watchtowers. He'll obviously try and go on then to finish off the archery range and take down this stable as well.
It looks like MbL's response to all of this is the elite skirmisher technology, and this will allow him to trade very favorably with the crossmen, as we can see some great focus fire going on right now. He's going to pick off all the archers first and clean up this army, even though it was like 4 to 8 units. Those elite skirmishers putting in some serious work here, but while they are potent counter units, they don't offer as much offensive pressure with only a measly 3 attack damage. They're not going to be able to take out as many villagers, and with the second town center up for 8th Wonder first, that's a little concerning for MbL.
Yeah, and also 8th Wonder here does have the Mangonel out to defend his economy and such, so those scums shouldn't be too potent. But MbL bringing in a Knight, and obviously he showed that that was what he intended to do when he got the Bloodlines upgrade and the +1 defense, and he should have no problem taking this Mangonel down. And actually, that's a pretty good engagement for MbL there overall. And right now, 8th Wonder taking a lot of stone. Looks like he might be considering a pretty early castle to defend himself a little better here.
Yeah, we mentioned this earlier, that protecting his forward gold mines is very, very important, and that's why he's going to be dropping a town center down there, and I think that he is definitely stockpiling stone for, like you just mentioned, a castle. He has to defend all these outward resources and another town center.
Wow.
So we're going to see a grand total of 4 for 8th Wonder. He's going for substantially more macro-oriented playstyle compared to MbL, and MbL still only on 2 town centers. He's going to put down his 3rd one now. If he doesn't get to do too much damage soon, he's going to start falling really behind in the economy.
Yeah, potentially. It all comes down to whether or not 8th Wonder will have enough food income to keep villagers coming out from all 4 TCs now, and whether or not 8th Wonder will be able to defend himself from the raids of MbL. Now, it's kind of been a little annoying for 8th Wonder so far this game because, you know, he's been pushed off his main gold, he's been pushed off his main wood line, so I think MbL's aggression has been really solid onto 8th Wonder here. But, of course, now 8th Wonder is able to take down this archery range with this Mangonel. I think he's going to be able to have a little bit of breathing room for a while and start booming up in peace, almost. I do think that the Celts will get an advantage due to their Civ as the game goes on. The Celt onagers, of course, just so very, very good. Siege onagers, so very good, due to their faster firing speed and obviously faster creation as well.
Yeah, and even though the Mongol Mangudai, their unique unit, has an attack bonus versus siege weapons, they're still not a very effective counter to those siege onagers. The siege onagers can knock out an entire group of elite Mangudai with some well-positioned shots and trade extremely favorably regardless. One of the downsides, of course, of MbL going for such forward aggression is that losing all these buildings will give 8th Wonder a brief window of opportunity where MbL's aggression will start to peter out, and now the shoe is on the other foot. 8th Wonder moving out aggressively on the left-hand side, and it looks like MbL's going to have to respond to this.
Yeah, taking down 3 villages, denying the siege workshop. MbL's not got any defensive buildings back at home. I mean, military production buildings back at home, aside from this one archery range, which he literally just built. And that was, of course, his response to those crossbows. Right now, he's still kind of, you know, moving around 8th Wonder's base. 8th Wonder's still very open with very few walls, but there's that castle from 8th Wonder, and it's going up in that wood line. I think that's a really awesome place to put it, because that is now going to hit 8th Wonder, sorry, that's going to hit MbL right back at you, he says.
Yeah, MbL gonna have to pull off all those villagers, build two new lumber camps, and that's a ridiculous amount of villager idle time, also costs him a good amount of wood. Some of those towers are awfully close to that castle as well, and putting the castle here is really, really strong at this point in the game, but if the game drags to the Imperial Age, it does become trebuchet fodder, so we'll have to see if that castle bites 8th Wonder later. But in the meantime, he's looking really strong, putting on some pressure on MbL's own base, and since 8th Wonder is the aggressor now, with the villager lead, with the population lead, things are looking very strong for him.
Definitely, and I also think as well with this castle here, although yes, it would be the target of trebuchets as soon as the Imperial Age upgrade comes in, I think it's also a very good protection for any siege onagers that 8th Wonder decides to build in order to cut through the center of the map, because it's a strategy we see quite often with players trying to cut through the middle with their siege onagers and then basically blast the backside of their opponent's base, and I think it's a interesting kind of situation because it kind of turns everything inside out a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's a very, very good point, and it really showcases how, while this castle is sort of a double-edged sword, it's definitely going to be a great decision on 8th Wonder's part, at least in the meantime. When we look at both players' economies, 8th Wonder's is actually very imbalanced right now. He has 1,350 gold in the bank, and he's very low on everything else. Whereas MbL's economy is a lot more balanced. 8th Wonder stockpiling a lot of gold, so his villager lead not necessarily as significant as it otherwise would be.
Well, I think, you know, it's not the end of the world if he has all this gold, because he's going to need it. Like, Siege Onager and Onager, it's not cheap. Really expensive upgrades to get. And so that gold is going to be useful to him eventually. And right now, I think the problem is he's just got so many TCs, that he's making so many villagers, that the food just hasn't had a chance to surplus yet. And as soon as he has, like, just a few more farms, suddenly his food income is going to go through the roof. And he'll be imp very, 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 very soon at this stage. He's also got enough for another castle in just a moment, and he's still got the pressure on the left-hand side, trading fairly evenly with MbL's mangoes on the left side as well.
Yeah, and in the meantime, MbL also just really running low on food too, but for different reasons, because he's investing very hard in these counter units like the Elite Skirmishers. It's going to be a big drain on his economy. While they counter these crossbowmen, it's going to be soaking up quite a bit of food, and 8th Wonder grabbing that handcart technology, continuing to try and attack this town center on the high ground, and it's going to come down to some really careful MbL micro here to decide these engagements.
Yeah, I think 8th Wonder should, if he gets a trade here on the left side, be able to win this fight, but MbL going to have the superior micro on the left side, and that means that 8th Wonder is going to be 2 versus 1 with the mangonels, 2 versus 0, and MbL trading quite nicely there, but 8th Wonder fractions of a second away from the Imperial Age now, building a market. He's of course got his castle, so that counts for his Castle Age building, and he just needs 170 more food, and he'll be clicking up. Now, interestingly enough, 8th Wonder still hasn't dealt with the stable down at the south from MbL here. In fact, I don't know if he must know it's there, right? Yeah. So he's still got the occasional knight coming into his eco, being a little bit of a nuisance, but quickly getting dealt with and cleaned up.
Yeah, I'm glad that MbL is making great use of his forward stable here by putting on some constant raiding, and with those mangonels going down, this army is going to get cleaned up, so 8th Wonder going to have to back up a little bit. But the fact that he is just on his way to the Imperial Age now, and really MbL is not quite close to being able to get it. There's just so little gold for him. I think 8th Wonder will have a huge window of opportunity here to potentially even close out this game. If he gets the Trebs, the Onagers first, he can start making elite Woad Raiders. MbL's going to be a little bit behind in this case.
Oh, I think so, and yeah, I mean, MbL here, he has got the wood, well, the food, sorry. He's got a lot of wood, which is what I meant to say, which he is going to sell for gold and get his way to the Imperial Age a little faster. But if he doesn't have much gold now, what does that say about his gold income overall? Well, he's going to need to get some gold income from somewhere at this point, and he will have to start taking these additional gold mines on the left side. But the problem with that is that, well, there's those Woad Raiders that you spoke about. They're coming in, and they're doing what they were born to do, which is raid, of course. It says it in the name, and 8th Wonder here going to be slowing the production of that castle, and with 8th Wonder being up to the Imperial Age first, he should also be building his Treb first, which means that that single castle on the left for MbL there is probably not going to be standing for too long. He also has a second castle coming up further back, and perhaps going to be needing those for the Mangudai that he is eventually going to be aiming to TEC into. But this Imperial Age advantage for 8th Wonder here, going to be fantastic. He's got so many resources in the bank. Elite Woad Raider coming in immediately, Trebs coming out from the remaining castles, and actually no more siege workshops, so perhaps Siege Onager not at the top of his priority list at this point.
And instead, 8th Wonder going to be plopping out that first Treb like you just mentioned, and this is a terrible position to be in, where your opponent gets the Imperial Age first, your castle gets delayed, and the Trebuchet comes out. This castle not going to hold, and then MbL's going to have to drain so much stone repairing this, but he has a plan. He knows that the left side of the map is not going to go very well, so he's sending a bunch of forward villagers, 5 on the right-hand side, and at the bottom of 8th Wonder's base, there are a bunch of stables showing up. Has 8th Wonder noticed this yet? He has not.
No, he hasn't at all, and MbL here looking to do some raiding, perhaps really hurt and hinder 8th Wonder's economy a little bit. But on this left side, 8th Wonder applying a lot of pressure, this castle going up in flames, and it will become rubble in a matter of moments. 8th Wonder taking that down incredibly quickly, and MbL here only able to get out 2 Mangudai, which is less than ideal. He really needs castles if he wants to make his unique tank unit, which he is going to be so dependent on as this game goes on. So MbL really hoping that this light cavalry raiding on the south is going to be enough. He might be able to clean up a lot of villages here, do a lot of damage. We'll see as 8th Wonder scrambles to build a castle inside of his eco, and those villagers have nowhere to run. Oh dear.
Oh my god. MbL's decision to build those forward stables is going to be great here, and when you're behind raiding is one of the great equalizers that you can do if you think you can stall, and since 8th Wonder has essentially like no defensive barracks or unit production facilities in his base besides a couple of castles, he's going to be stretched thin trying to defend against this, but in the meantime he's making some serious progress on MbL's own base, and we've seen this throughout the entire tournament, that the problem with Mongol Mangudai, while they're so strong, is you're so dependent on that castle. When you lose a castle like this, that really cuts to your production, and the techs take so long to research, they're so expensive. The Mangudai aren't coming out quick enough, and 8th Wonder cleaning up MbL's main base.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think at this point, it's really quite over for MbL at this point. He's dealing with elite Woad Raiders at this point, so those raiding light cavalry are very easily dealt with a few Woad Raiders here. And back at home, MbL, he's building a castle, and then in a matter of moments, it's going down again, because he's just not got the trebs to defend. He doesn't have the elite Mangudai upgrade, and sure, he's focusing on getting a few of the technologies required to make those Mangudai work, but if he can't keep the castles up, then he can't make those units, and those resources, those researches are completely wasted.
And with that, MbL is going to call it game as elite Mangudai also denied. MbL is not able to get a large enough army quick enough, as the Mangudai just coming out too slowly, and his defenses are going to crumble to those trebuchets. So GG, well played, a strong showing from 8th Wonder this game.
Oh, definitely, and considering MbL played so aggressively at the start of that one, 8th Wonder did a great job defending and minimizing the impact of that early aggression. A lot of players, when they are dealing with so much aggression, they tend to kind of crumble a little bit. They tend to really struggle dealing with it. But 8th Wonder kept his cool. He got his way to the Castle Age in a great time. He managed to push it back, and from there, as soon as he hit Imp after that pretty hefty boom, he was able to just absolutely obliterate MbL's economy and his castles, which are oh so important for making those Mangudai, which he never truly got going that game.
Yeah, certainly a shame for MbL there, as the Mangudai just a little bit too slow. I'm going to use this opportunity to be right back, as we're going to be jumping into Game 2 shortly, as it just launched.
Yeah, and 1 point on the board for 8th Wonder now, and we'll be going back. Game 2, of course, will be